Welcome in, everybody. I'm just getting my welcome in. When I'm just getting my hashtags done quick. I made myself a grilled cheese before I got on here because I didn't get much sleep last night. I need to eat a little something, and yeah, and it's so good too. Look at this. Look at this cheese pull. It's with Gouda in it. Look. Oh yeah, that's what I call a bomb grilled cheese. Bless you, honey. Yeah, some sourdough bread with some smoked Gouda. It's really good. Let's put this up so we can get the camera up a little bit. Up, up, up. There we go. Anyone that's new to the stream, make sure you guys double tap that screen, show some love and support. If double tapping doesn't work, make sure you hit the three dots on the top right corner and hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notification bell if you haven't already. Show some love and support. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day and has had a good week. I hope tomorrow on Friday you guys have the weekend off. I hope everybody has good plans. Thank you guys for always supporting your boy. We are at 10,754 subscribers. We're almost to 11,000 subs. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join the See Me Now family. And yeah, I'm not gonna be on that long day. I have to bring my daughter to the doctor, and we're gonna run it up for the next couple hours here. Oh god, this grilled cheese is so good. But yeah, guys, make sure you like the stream, show some love and support. I've been getting into this guy, Professor Chang or whatever. This news clip, we're gonna watch him. I've been really getting into this guy. He's very smart and he explains things really good. He does a lot of like video sessions to where he talks about things and breaks them down. And it was very interesting what he was talking about when what I was listening to last night, where all Iran doesn't have to attack the United States or attack soldiers. All they have to do is cut the water supply off to a lot of these places and ruin the economy. Hence the reason why they're bombing all these coastal countries that have United States air bases. Um, so yeah, it's a lot of interesting stuff. Instead of me explaining it myself because I'm an idiot a lot of the time, I'm gonna let him explain it to you. So make sure you guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Show some love and support. I appreciate everybody for being here today. God bless you guys. Make sure you get the likes up. We always try and hit 100 likes within the first 60 minutes of the stream so it can propel us into the algorithm. So everybody who's coming in here, make sure you like the stream, show some love and support, and I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. China apparently has submarines getting closer to the United States, and it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going down. Um, I just hate this, man. I wish, excuse me, I just hate this. I wish that it would be different. I wish things would be different, but it's not. And Trump sold us out, and I'm just over it. You know, when you have kids, you think about the future of your country and you think about everything that's going on, and you do worry about it. And yeah, I do have a super chat goal, 5 super chats, any color up, so $1 and above. Get your name written down on the super chat wall. Show some love and support. I appreciate everybody for being here today. God bless every single one of you guys. Um, I guess let's just get into it.
Welcome back. I'm here now with Gordon Chang. We just spoke with House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, and China says it is sending a special envoy on Middle Eastern affairs to the region to conduct mediation efforts, they claim. Beijing condemning the attacks earlier this week, now having to rely more on Russian oil due to massive supply disruptions. In the Strait of Hormuz. China buys up to 80% of Iranian oil. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that China is now accelerating production of submarines to attack the United States. Closer.
Jesus, holy shit. Hold on one second. I'm going to go grab my water.
to home, writing, quote, China has been developing new submarine technology and a bigger, better fleet that is gaining on the United States and its allies, spurring a new undersea arms race in the Pacific. These subs that can strike U.S. from closer to home, the U.S. Navy is warning. Joining me now is Gatestone Institute.
For anyone that's coming in, bro, I just want to let you guys know, get yourself some sourdough, get some Gouda cheese, and you can make an awesome grilled cheese like this, man. Oh, earlier the cheese pull was better. It cooled down a little bit, but so good. So good.
Senior fellow Gordon Chang. Gordon, that is some statement that the Navy has warned us about.
Yes. You know, the Chinese, they don't actually need better submarines. All they need to do is stay.
This isn't the professor I was talking about. I'll show you the professor after this.
Close to their shores in what they call the bastion areas, like the Yellow Sea. But obviously, they do want subs to be able to get closer to the U.S. And by the way, we have Chinese submarines in the Arctic, which would be very, very close to Alaska and the homeland. So this is really an important development. And we have got to make sure that we have got the attack subs that can take out those ballistic missile submarines of the Chinese.
It's incredible. You know, the Hudson Institute has reported that China armed Iran with advanced missiles. Every warhead carries Chinese components. We've reported on this program many times that China sends these components to Iran. The guidance systems, the propellant chemistry. China provided air defense systems to Iran. U.S. and Israeli strikes decimated them. And that China invested $100 billion in Iranian infrastructure. I mean, clearly, China is on the side of Iran with all of this, and then they want to send a Mideast envoy to go condemn the attacks today. How do you see this?
Well, first of all, that envoy is going to try to stop the United States from attacking Iran. And clearly what we should be doing is ignoring this guy. You know, the Chinese are an enemy combatant. That's the way we should treat them. They have been supplying Iran with all the components.
Yeah, but then it's like the moment we attack these submarines that are over there by Alaska or whatever, is the moment that it's like now we're at war with China, right? Because we're attacking them now and they're attacking us. I just hope that this gets better, man. Because yeah, this is just ridiculous. And not only that, but Israel should have learned after the first time that we tried to strike them when we had our surprise attack on the nuclear facilities, Operation Midnight Hammer or whatever. The Iran got Israel back good. And people don't want to admit that. And Excuse me, guys. Sorry, my apologies. Um, and then now that we're hitting them again, it's just gonna be very interesting to see what happens. And I just pray for us. I pray for the world.
For their weapons, as you just talked about. Diplomatic support, propaganda support, elevated commodity purchases. Last year, 87.2% of Iran's exports of crude went to China. It's across the board support. And so the United States just needs to say, look, we want to stop this. We have to also impose costs.
All right, this is what I was watching last night. So I want you guys to pay attention to this.
I hope everyone had a nice break, and welcome back to the end of the world.
Make sure you guys double tap that screen, man. Show some love and support. Get those likes up. We always try and hit 100 likes within the first 60 minutes of the stream. We have 49 more minutes to go. Can we reach 100? Make sure you guys double tap the screen. If double tapping doesn't work, hit the 3 dots on the top right corner and hit the like button that way. If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you guys can be a part of the family and see the streams every day. I want to see your beautiful faces in here daily. Appreciate every single one of you guys. If you want to donate, make sure you guys go to the Ko-Fi, and for any large donations, or if you want to get your name written on the donor wall, make sure you guys help me reach my super chat goal of 5 super chats, any color, so $1 and above.
So as you know, World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack Iran. And we are now in the 4th day of this war. And we can expect this war to last for many weeks, possibly also for many years. But I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again. So what we will do these next few weeks is use game theory and understand and analyze the geopolitical situation. And so I'm going to teach you the ideas, the theories, the techniques to understand the world around you and make predictions. And we can know if our analysis is correct because all this is happening in real time, and so we can test it against reality. All right, so let's go over some basic facts about what's happened so far. So in the early morning of Saturday in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments and disputes about as to what happened. The Americans and Israelis said that they had real intelligence about where the leader was, and so they sent airplanes to just bomb the crap out of the place. They also had a spy who was able to record the body of the dead Ayatollah. And then this was announced. At first, the Iranians denied this, and the Iranians insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also said is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he chose to stay in Tehran and die for his people. But not only that, but he died along many of his relatives. He died along with his daughter, his son-in-law, his grandchildren. So many of the family died in this assault. Also, there's been reporting that he had prostate cancer. Okay, so he was going to die fairly soon as well. So what you need to understand first about the war is that even though the Americans and the Israelis claim great success in decapitating the leadership of the Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay? And so the religion of the Iranians is called Shia Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim. So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world. The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted. So in the Shia faith, the core value, the force that binds everyone together and gives them purpose and meaning in life, that galvanizes them into action, is the idea of martyrdom, which forces jihad. To sacrifice yourself for your religion, sacrifice yourself for the common good. So think of the death of Khamenei as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice, in order to motivate the Iranians in this war, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. That for the Iranians, this is not a geopolitical war. This is not an economic war. This is not a war of resistance. This is a jihad, okay? It's a war against the great Satan to avenge their leader. They will fight to the death, all right? That's number one. Number two is this.
Make sure you guys like the stream, man. We have almost 200 people in here. Let's try and hit 100 likes within the first 60 minutes. We have 44 more minutes left within the first hour. Everybody double tap your screens. If double tap doesn't work, hit the 3 dots on the top right corner and hit the like button that way. Help propel me into the algorithm. I appreciate y'all. Much love, guys. We just need 89 more beautiful people to like the stream.
Also that morning, when the Ayatollah was killed, they really struck a school in the south of Tehran, killing about 150 school children. These are girls in primary school. And again,
150? I thought it was like 60.
and there's a lot of debate and argument as to what happened. This really said that, first of all, the school was next to a military base. We were targeting the military base. And second of all, it wasn't us which struck the school. It was a air defense missile that went off course. Okay? And the Iranians insisted no. The Israelis purposefully attacked the school to kill the school children. And then you're like, why would the Israelis do that? But then these few years, well, we've seen what they've done in Gaza, in Palestine, to the Palestinians. And it's pretty consistent what the Israelis have been doing. All right? So this action against the Israelis, it's meant to show to themselves and the world.
Thank you guys for liking the stream. I appreciate y'all. And to the Nancy Guthrie situation, dude, with the Nancy Guthrie thing, there's just something off with it. I'm sorry. But listening to her daughter talk and stuff like that is just, yeah, we'll get into that another day. But yeah, this guy is very informative, so everybody pay attention.
That we are now all in, okay? We've made the sacrifice. We are now committed to this war, to winning this war at all costs. And this action has also provoked the Iranian people to resist with their full might, okay? So I want you to keep this in mind. And again, we don't have complete evidence that it's the Israelis who did.
Isef, you're going to go to Shadow Realm now. Enjoy your Shadow Realm. I'll talk on my channel anytime I want to. God, you people are just crazy. If you don't want to hear me talk, then go to this guy's fucking channel and listen to it on his own fucking channel and on your own fucking time, okay? You understand? Thank you. Appreciate you.
This, but given past actions from the Israelis, this is fairly consistent with what they've done. Okay? So we can
We all know Israel likes to unalive children, right?
assume that this
Allegedly.
is something the Israelis did. Why they did this, what the purpose is something we will discuss as we move on. Okay? It's very complicated. Next, I want to show you this. This is Dubai. And Dubai is considered one of the wealthiest, safest cities in the world. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Westerners who move to Dubai because it's clean, you don't pay any taxes, you make a lot of money, and there are great restaurants. And this is really the economic model of Dubai. It's one of the GCC countries, okay? The Gulf coastal countries. And for the longest time, Dubai had a really good deal because they were under the protection of the American military. So they didn't have to pay for defense. And then they were in the Middle East, which is the oil producing center of the world. And so they focus on aviation, they focus on logistics, they focus on finance, on tourism. They became extremely wealthy, right? I'm not sure if you've taken Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world. So their airport, Dubai Airport, is the busiest.
Do I support Donald Trump? At this point, dude, I don't support any of the government right now. We just shouldn't even be in this situation. And like this guy said, the world's going to change very like a lot in the next few years. And yeah, I don't know. I guess the first term, maybe it wasn't as obvious to me that he was so sold out to Israel. But now with the Epstein situation and everything else, with the obvious effort to distract us and to, bury the Epstein situation along with doing this war, Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over how our government keeps selling us out. Just like the Marine that was in the video of the Marine yesterday who was yelling, "We don't want to go to war and die for another country, which is Israel." And the senator was helping him get out, and his arm got stuck in the door, his prosthetic. Like that's just how all Americans are feeling right now, and I think we're so done with it, you know. And that's how I feel. I'm over it. Anyone that has kids and anyone in general who's smart would not want this to happen and would be against it and would just and would be disappointed in Trump. And I'm completely disappointed in him. And he sold us out. That's how I feel. So appreciate you guys for running up the likes. We just need 72 more beautiful people to like the stream. Double tap the screen. We always try and get to 100 likes within the first 60 minutes. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk today. I did not get no sleep last night. But yeah, we just need 72 more beautiful people to like the stream. We'll be at 100 likes. I appreciate you guys for running it up. We have 38 more minutes left within the first hour. So yeah, we're gonna listen to this guy. It's gonna be interesting. It's interesting what he says. I was listening to him last night before I tried to sleep, and he's very smart, and I'm kind of getting into watching his videos. So, but yeah, at this point, dude, I'm over our government right now, selling us out, doing all this bullshit, and we want to take care of another country, but it's always we have to help the Iranians do this, or we have to help another country do this. Why don't we fucking help our veterans? Why don't we help the people with mental illness? Why don't we help our infrastructure? Since our grid is so old and it would be so easy to knock out our power, why not focus on us? I just don't understand why it's so hard to focus on our own people, on our own country. It's ridiculous.
In the world. And
Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, man, too. We're on the road to 20,000.
Dubai, for the longest time, was flourishing under American protection. And Dubai said to the world, listen, we're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We don't want any involvement in any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked the GCC, okay? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, they attacked these places. And these places were like, what's going on? We're neutral, man. We're not involved in this war. And the airport was shut down in Dubai. At one point, the rich people in Dubai were willing to pay about $250,000 US just to get on a plane and get out of there. Okay? So, the reality is this. For the longest time, Dubai had a reputation for being safe, and that's why people moved their money there. Guess what, guys? After what the Iranians did, it's dead. Dubai is a...
Yeah, I bet all these people who are in Dubai and have property in Dubai and have money invested. I mean, look at the UFC as well, in Abu Dhabi and all these other places. I bet people are really regretting stuff right now. Kando, thank you for your subscription. God bless you. Welcome to the See Me Now family. But yeah, I bet you a lot of people are sitting there and saying, fuck, what am I going to do? So we see 67 more people to like the stream. We'll be at 100. I appreciate you guys. I can't be on here much longer today. I'm only going to be on here for another hour and a half because I have to bring my daughter to the doctor later. So much love to everybody, man. God bless you guys. Let's continue.
City in the long term, it is dead. Because you're a wealthy Westerner, you're not going to move to a place where it could be attacked anytime by the Iranians. You might move to Singapore, you might move to Hong Kong, Japan, South America, but you're not moving to Dubai, okay? So the big question for us is, why did the Iranians do this? It was the Israelis and the Americans who attacked you, why go after the GCC? All right? And not only that, but they're escalating the attacks against the GCC. So this is something that we will look at very closely today. Well, the short answer is because these places, even though they pretend to be neutral, they house the American military. They allow the Israelis and the Americans to use their airspace to attack Iran from. All right? So this is Bahrain. Now, Bahrain is interesting, okay? Because I want you guys to remember this. But Bahrain will probably be one of the major centers of this conflict. Because, first of all, this is the American Fifth Fleet. All right, this is their naval base in the Middle East. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking it with missiles. And it's being blown up. Bahrain is interesting because it has about 50%.
Observe, I agree with you, but please don't spam in the chat, all right?
Or even more, okay, Shia, which is the religion of the Iranians. But the people in charge are the Sunnis. And so what makes this strike really important from our perspective is, first of all, not only are the Iranians attacking US military assets, not only are they destroying the economies of the GCC, but they're also trying to ignite a religious war, right? Because you're Shia, you're loyal to the Ayatollah. And if he's dead, then you must, as a religious obligation, now commit jihad against your enemies. And it's no different in other religions where, listen, if you want to kill the Pope, the Catholics would be really angry at you and they would want to kill you, right? So now you have the Shia who will probably eventually arise, creating a revolution in Bahrain, okay? So I think Bahrain will be the first to fall. Dubai will probably go bankrupt.
I'm sorry, but what is this handwriting, bro? I know you want to write fast and shit, but what is this? This looks like it says Sevalit. I don't even know what the fuck.
Okay? But in the long term, we can expect the entire GCC area, including Saudi Arabia, to eventually collapse, okay? And so this is something we'll use game theory to understand. All right, let's continue.
EOIN, yeah, okay, he's wrong. Real people with high IQs know what's going on.
So we will know how this war develops just based on geography, okay? So this is a map. And this map...
You want to prove that he's wrong, then join the Discord, which is in my bio, and prove to me that your family members are still going to work and all this other stuff.
Even if you don't really know the war, even if you don't know the participants, even if you don't know the weaponry, this map will tell you exactly how this war will progress. All right, so some certain things to keep in mind about this map. This is what we call this area, okay, really small, it's 33 kilometers wide, okay? People can swim across it. It's really, really narrow, okay? This small area, guys, it's called the Strait of Hormuz, all right? And it's important because it's really the center of the world. This one area is the nexus, the pivot of the world.
Yo, I would hate to be this guy's student.
Let me explain why. First of all,
Look at this handwriting. It's funny.
From the GCC, you have 20% of all the world's oil flowing through this narrow strait. Where does it go, guys? It goes to Asia, India, Pakistan, South Korea, China, Japan. India depends on 60% of its oil from this area. China depends on 40%. Japan, 75%. Prime Minister Takeichi of Japan has said that, listen, if the Strait of Hormuz closes, we're going to have oil in about 8-9 months. The entire Japanese economy would collapse in 8-9 months if the Strait of Hormuz were to close. And guess what? The Iranians have closed the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? So we can expect that the entire global economy will suffer greatly over the next few months. All right, so that's point number one. Point number two is, okay, so the
Hey guys, we got 30 minutes left. We just need 63 more people just to double tap the screen and show some love and support. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subs, man. God bless y'all.
GCC sends oil across the Strait of Hormuz, and what do they get back in return? Food, guys. All right, so people don't appreciate the GCC, but it is really the linchpin of the American empire. Because what is the American empire? The American empire is the petrodollar. All right? The idea of the petrodollar is this. The US dollar is worth nothing. It's only valuable when people want it. But the GCC says that if you want oil from us, you have to pay us in US dollars. Okay? Then that is the basis of the value of the US dollar. So, if the GCC collapses, the American economy and the American empire both collapse at the same time. The problem, though, is that GCC is an artificial construct of empire. It does not exist naturally. Why? Because there's no food, there's no oil, no water. Okay, guys? No food, no water. So these cities are able to grow in the millions because of all these petrodollars flowing in. If you close off the Strait of Hormuz, there's no food coming in, right? They're all going to starve. How much food does the GCC get from overseas? 80%. 80% of all the food it consumes comes from overseas, that it imports. It doesn't grow by itself, it imports. All right? So the Strait of Hormuz is really key. And again, the Iranians will close it in order to strangle the global economy and therefore bankrupt the American empire. All right? Second thing you will notice is these mountains. These mountains is what we call Iran. All right, this is Iran. This is GCC. Okay, this is not a fair matchup, right? Because these are mountains. And what can you do in mountains? Well, you can hide rocket bases. You can hide drone bases. You can hide missiles. And that's the entire Iranian offensive strategy, all right? From here, they can hide missiles and drones from which to attack the GCC. And what are they attacking? They're attacking three things, right? They're attacking American military bases. American military bases. That's number one. Okay? Is it possible for the Americans to defend against these attacks? The answer is no. They're not. It's not. It's the silliest thing in the world. You have all these bases in the Middle East, but you cannot defend them against the Iranians. That's kind of strange. Okay, but that's number one. Number two is oil and energy. How hard is it to blow up an oil field with a drone? Not hard at all. Can you defend these oil fields? No, you cannot. All right? Number three, and this is most important, is water. Okay? You guys don't know this, but the GCC has little access to fresh water. So the only way that it can produce water is what we call.
Appreciate you guys. We're halfway to our goal. We always try and hit 100 likes within the first 60 minutes. We're halfway through the first 60 minutes. We just have 28 minutes left. We just need 54 more beautiful people to like the stream. I hope you guys are having a good Thursday, man. God bless you guys.
Desalination plants, okay? These factories that take salt water and then through electrical chemical process turn it into fresh water for the population to use. 60% of the water supply in the GCC comes from desalination plants, okay? 60%. Is it hard to blow up a desalination plant using a drone? The answer is, it's very easy. You understand? Okay? So you have this absurd situation where Iran is a mountain fortress where it can hide its offensive capacity, and the GCC, it's just this desert, this flat desert, and it is exposed to attack, and there's nothing it can do about it, okay? So at any point in this war, the Iranians can choose to just destroy the entire GCC, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Okay, but Iran also has a weakness, okay, and this is fundamental. So Iran also has a water problem, okay? So for the longest time, they suffered a drought issue, okay, just climate change. And so what the plan of the Israelis and Americans is destroy the water supply of the Iranians. Because the fortress, it is a mountain fortress, but it can also be a mountain prison as well, where people are trapped inside with no access to water. Okay, so what we're going to see right now, we're already seeing attacks on civilian infrastructure, hospitals. In the future, you'll see attacks on water supply, on dams, on reservoirs, on power plants. The idea is to make Iran so inhabitable that the people will have to rebel against the people, or there'll be a refugee crisis in Iran. Okay? So as you can see from this map, this war, it is the end of the world. Okay? Both sides have the potential to destroy each other. It's really a question of how far do they want to go. All right? We can also say this is almost a game of chicken. Okay? We can blow each other up. How far do you want to go? And the problem is this. The problem is that the Iranians are Shia, which believes in martyrdom. And you've killed the religious leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. So they're willing to go very, very far. The GCC countries are Muslim, but they're materialistic. They love money. And also, most of the population are expatriates, foreigners. 90% of Dubai are foreigners. Guess what's going to happen if they suffer? They're going to run away. Okay? So this is not a fair matchup. The big question that people have is, first of all, are the Americans going to use ground troops? Because the only way that you can defeat Iran is by using ground troops, okay? That's a big question we'll look at in the
Dude, this guy's handwriting is it's just crazy. Holy crap.
next few weeks. Will America send its army, 500,000, 2 million soldiers to topple the government? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two, nuclear weapons. If you're losing a war, would you choose to use nuclear weapons? Okay, that's another big question that we have, okay? Now, another big question that we have is who gets involved? Because this situation is so dire that Europe, okay, specifically Germany, France, and Britain are talking about entering this war. And guess what? If that happens, it is possible that Russia and China will also enter this war on the side of the Iranians. This is World War III, okay? Because of the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, because of the importance of the Middle East, everyone has to get involved at some point. And we're going to use game theory to really try to understand what's happening on the ground and where this could lead us. Okay? All right. You guys understand? All right. All right. Let's continue. Okay, so again, there are American bases all over the Middle East. And originally, these bases were established to protect them from basically their own people, okay? These are monarchies that were imposed on these nations by the Anglo-American Empire, the British first, and then the Americans came to support these monarchies. And so they provide defense. But then you're like, wait a minute here. I mean, didn't we just say that these American bases can't actually defend these people, that they're exposed? And the answer is, yes, that's true. But remember, like, the American military was built during the Cold War. Okay? And the Cold War was a war between the Soviet Union and America. And so the Cold War was defined as something called MAD, mutually assured destruction, because both had nuclear weapons, okay? So they didn't really go to war against each other. And so in other words, these bases aren't really meant to defend these nations from other enemies. They're really meant to impose American authority in the Middle East, okay? And it's
Welcome in, everybody that's new. God bless you guys. We just need 47 more people to double tap the screen. We'll be at 100 likes within the first 60 minutes. We've got 22 minutes left. Everybody that's new to the stream, welcome in. God bless you guys. I hope you guys are having a good week. We were just watching this guy explain the Iran war. If you're just getting in here, we're at 10,766 subscribers. Much love to everybody, man. We're on the road to 20K. We're almost at 11,000. You guys are awesome. We keep growing the family bigger. If you want to become more immersed into our community, join the best family in the world and the fastest growing community on YouTube, go to my bio, hit the Discord link, join the Discord, show some love and support. I do have a 5 super chat go up of 5 super chats any color. Usually while we're reacting to videos like this, the only way I'll read your chat is if you super chat, because we're trying to, I don't like just interrupting for all the chats. So I just usually just reply to super chats because people will say, shut up and just watch the video. So unless I really have something to say for the video that I'm reacting to, I really don't pay attention to a chat unless someone super chats. So God bless.
the idea of this. It's the idea that empire, it is really a image. It is a hallucination. It's just an idea. Empire is an aura of invincibility and invisibility, okay? If you fear it, then you obey it. But it's not really designed to fight a war, okay? And so that's why we have this absurd situation. And because there are so many bases in the GCC, that gives the Iranians the perfect pretext to attack them in order to destroy the GCC economy, which will destroy the American empire, right? All right, so this is how the war is shipping out, okay? So the red is the Israelis and the Americans, the yellow are the Iranians. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking everywhere, primarily Israel, Okay? But also, as you can see, a lot of focus on Bahrain and Qatar. And again, the intention is to destabilize the economy and the government. Okay? It's to try to get as much instability as possible. All right? Okay, and as you can see, the Americans and Israelis are focused on Tehran. And so the Americans and the Israelis use something we call shock and awe. And the very idea of shock and awe is you decapitate the enemy. You cut off the head, the body will fall down, okay? The problem, though, is, again, the Iranians see this as a religious war. And so the Iranians have announced total war. Okay? And so what this means is that right now, command and control in Iran is decentralized. There's no one person telling everyone what to do. Every region has its own orders, has its own strategy. And so if you knock out Tehran, everyone else keeps on going. So if you take off the head, it doesn't change anything. Okay? But unfortunately, the Israelis and Americans use this as a military doctrine. Military doctrine just means how you design your military for what purpose. And so even though the Americans seem like an invincible army, they are not equipped to fight a 21st century war against drones, against destabilization, against religious fanatics. Okay?
Yeah, and what he's about to say too, it's very interesting because it's true. You know, America spends a lot of this money on this heavy equipment, big missiles that cost $1 million to make, but you know we're being hit with missiles that are like $25,000 to $50,000 to make, and we're being hit by cheap missiles, and we're spending $1 million a missile to defend them, and it's very true. And it's like if America would just focus on getting more advanced and more efficient, smaller weapons like these drones and everything else, we'd be a lot better off. But instead, we have these air missile defense trucks that are too heavy to move in time, so they're easy to strike. A bunch of this other stuff. The Iranians are actually thinking smart in some ways. They have these trucks that look like, you know, mini semis, and then they have like 8 drones stashed in them that can be launched from anywhere, and it's very covert and it's very sly, and it can be hidden easily. So I think America should focus on a lot more on these tinier weapons that do a lot of damage, are more efficient but less costly to make, right?
It's not. Right.
40 more people just need to like the stream. We'll be at 100 likes. I appreciate every single one of you. We are at 17 more minutes left within the first half, or within the first hour.
But unfortunately, because of military doctrine, they're going to keep on attacking Tehran. Now, the great irony of all this is that the Iranians who would be most supportive.
Yeah, they are using them now, and they're using them. But we have a lot. We're using a lot more other things too. You know, I'm saying instead of us having all these other bulky weapons, we should make more weapons like those drones. Yeah, we're using drones. Let's make some more different kinds of other, weapons. You know what's really crazy too is when you see those drone shows that go on in China, or you see how many drones they can have up in the air. It's like thousands of them, and they all move simultaneously at the same time in swarms. That would be crazy for warfare, and it'd be. I could imagine being a soldier out there and seeing like a swarm of 1,000 drones coming at you. It'd be like, holy shit.
Of regime change actually in the cities, because they are educated, they're progressive. The people who are most fundamentally against you, will fight you to the death, are religious fanatics, the Shia militants living in the rural areas. Okay? So this is a really silly thing where you are actually destroying those who will most likely support you, and you're leaving alone those who are most likely to commit jihad against you. All right? Any questions so far, guys? Are you clear? All right. So another idea that I want you guys to understand is the idea of asymmetry. Asymmetry. All right. So what is asymmetry? Asymmetry means that the two sides are choosing to fight different wars using different techniques because one is much stronger.
Thank you to Michael or Michelle. I never get those damn names right. Thank you for the subscription. God bless you.
Than the other, okay? America is a great empire. It has unlimited resources. It has the USD. It controls the world, right? Iran is a country that has been under economic sanctions for the past 45 years. It's poor. Its technology is very limited, okay? But as we learn in this class, actually, those nations that are poor actually have more energy. They're more open and they're more cohesive. All right, so let me give you an example. This is what we call the Shahad drones. Shahad drones. Each of these drones costs $50,000 at most, okay? At most. It can go as cheap as $35,000 US. But one of them is $50,000. As you can see, you can fit a lot of these drones to a truck that can go anywhere in Iran, and they can hide anywhere. All right? So the thing to understand is, first of all, these drones are cheap. They're easy to make. They make about 500 a day. Okay? And estimates are about there's 80,000 right now that the Iranians have. So they can go on for a long, long time. Okay? And one of these drones, again, can knock out a desalination plant. It can knock out an oil
Morning, Stacy. God bless you.
field. It can knock out a hotel. It can do a lot of damage. Okay? And it's easily transportable. You can hide it anywhere. You can use it from anywhere, okay? And that's what the Iranians are using as an offensive weapon. And how do the Americans defend against this? They use something called a THAAD, right? Okay, guys, this is what they use. THAAD. THAAD stands for Thermal High Altitude Air Defense. And they also have like Patriot systems. There's a lot, okay? The thing that you need to know about the system is it's really expensive. This missile, guys, costs $1 million. $1 million. So there's this $50,000 drone coming your way, and you throw a $1 million missile at it, okay? And often these missiles miss, so you have to throw 2 or 3 missiles at it, okay? So you're spending $2 to $3 million on each $50,000 that the Iranians spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that this thing is really big and really slow. And therefore, you can't really move it around. Therefore, it's pretty easy for the Iranians to spot where this is and attack it. And then when these things blow up, that's a lot of money, guys. Okay? Then you're like, what? But this makes no sense. You know the Iranians have drones. They've had drones for like 10 years. You've also seen drones used in the Russia-Ukraine war to devastating effect. Why don't the Americans know this? Why did they prepare? Okay, and again, it has to do with military doctrine. Because military doctrine determines how you fight a war, it determines on your bureaucracy, and it determines how you spend your resources, okay? And unfortunately, the Americans are used to fighting something called the Cold War, right? And the Cold War, because you can actually fight the war. You can actually kill each other because then people use nuclear weapons. The Cold War was about flexing. Flexing, okay? You see how big and powerful I am? Me! Okay? That's all it was. These weapon systems are designed to scare the crap out of you. They are designed to impress you. And as a result, they cost a lot of money, and they really don't do anything, all right? So that's the entire American military. It costs a lot, and it doesn't really do anything. And it's not resilient. It's not innovative.
I know, and you'd think with all the money we put towards our military, like our budget's so huge, you'd think we'd have more compact, more efficient, more, versatile weapons at this point, especially knowing since, the Ukraine war has been going on and everything else, and these advancements with drone technology and everything else, and all the technocrats we have taking over our country with Palantir and all this other stuff. You'd think that if we're going to do this war right here, we would flex, quote unquote, a bunch of new, versatile, innovative, and efficient weapons, right? Instead of just using these big, clunky missiles, we should be trying to use other efficient things.
It's not open, all right? Also, the other thing I have to say this, okay, is if you look at the American military, it's corrupt. So this is really about corruption. So the Americans don't really care about winning a war. What they care about is spending as much money as possible because then they get a cut. It doesn't make sense. Right? And that's why the Americans are in the situation as they are. All right, let's continue. All right. So something that people don't really talk about, but you need to understand, it's the water issue in the GCC, in the Middle East, in Iran. All right. So this is a map of the world, and if you are light blue, Brazil, Canada, you have nothing to worry about because you have a lot of water, a lot of fresh water, very little population. All right. So 100% just means 100% water stress just means that you drink as much water as the environment produces. Okay? So you want to be below 100% to be sustainable. Ideally, you want to be at 10%. Okay? If it goes above 100%, it means that you are drinking more water, using more water than the environment actually produces. Okay? So you're putting stress on the environment. So 20% is really bad, right? Because you're using twice as much water as the environment produces. Guess what, guys? Look at the Middle East, okay? Egypt, 6,420%. Saudi Arabia, 883%.
Holy crap.
All right? Bahrain, almost 4,000%. Dubai, 17,000%. All right? So water is a huge issue. Again, it doesn't matter if Iran kills American soldiers, destroys American military. It doesn't have to do that. All it has to do is destroy the desalination plants. And then the GCC is destroyed, okay? But it's also true that Iran has water issues. 72% is pretty bad, okay? So even though the Iranians could destroy the GCC much faster than the Americans could destroy Iran, Iran is still in trouble, okay? So let me give you an example of this. This is like, so this is another map that shows you the issue of water scarcity, okay? And it's just basically the Middle East, okay? The biggest issue in the future is water, okay? And that's where the geopolitical tensions will arise in the future over water. India is also affected as well, okay? All right. All right, so let's look at the map, guys. This is called Lake Urmia in northern Iran. It's the 6th largest saltwater lake in the world, or it used to be. Okay, this is what it was in 1984. This is the shallow, this is the deep, okay? You guys see that? It's really big, right? 20 years later, guys, this is what it looks like. There's no more water here. You can walk from here over to there, okay?
That's just crazy.
There's some water over here, but it's shallow now. That's how serious the water issue is in Iran. And that's the weak point that the Americans and Israelis will attack. All right? They want to make sure that Iran has no access to fresh water, which will cause devastation in their nation. Okay, that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is this. This is a map of the different ethnic minorities in Iran. As you can see, it's a very diverse place. In the center are the Persians, but you also have 10 other groups as well. And in the borderlands, it's basically a different country, right? Like, these are basically different countries. And so these places have more common areas with their neighbors than they do with Iran. Okay, so the second weakness of Iran. First is the water. The second is the ethnic makeup of the country. So the strategy of the Americans,
as you guys know, a lot of parts of Iran also are more liberal, so they're in support of wanting the Ayatollah to be removed and to want to get some other person in there that could not slaughter their own people or, be as terrible as the last person, I guess, in their eyes. But there's also people who, like this guy said, are in rural areas, who believe in Shia, who would really support the Ayatollah. And once the Ayatollah goes, they will commit jihad. But you'll see him show the map again in a minute of what it would look like if it all separated and how potentially there could be another forever war in Iran.
And Israelis moving forward is destroy Iran as a coherent nation state divided into ethnic enclaves and have them fight over water. That is the grand plan of the Israelis and the Americans, okay? All right, this is the vision where Persia is limited, and then all these other places are sponsored by the Americans and the Israelis. They're giving money, they're giving weapons, they're giving political support, and then this war will wage over water forever, okay? And this is how you destroy Iran and make sure Iran is no longer a viable threat to you. That is the plan of the Americans, okay? As you can see, it's a pretty evil plan, and that's why they have not announced it, right? Because if you announce it, you're like, why are you doing this? What did the Persians, what did the Iranians ever do to you to warrant you coming and destroying their civilization? And the answer is nothing, right? So the Americans and Israelis will never admit they're doing this, but if you look at the map of water supply, of ethnic tensions, this is the optimal game theory strategy for them to use against Iran. It doesn't make sense. This is a long-term plan that they have in place. And it's all moving towards this plan. But now the question then is, how can the Iranians respond to this? And the answer is this. This is a map of the Muslim world, okay? So the light green are the Sunni people, okay? That's 90% of the entire Muslim population, about 2 billion people, okay? Then you have in dark green, the Shia. So as you can see, the main place of the Shia is Iran, okay? Iran is one of the few Shia nations in the world. But you can also see from this map that Shia are spread throughout the world, okay? And so the first thing that the Iranians want to do is create a jihad to unite all the Shia against the American empire. All right, so what they want to do is create an uprising. And it's already happening, guys. The Shia in Pakistan stormed the American embassy in Pakistan, and the Americans killed a lot of people, okay? The Shia have attacked the American embassy in Iraq. The American embassy are being attacked in a lot of places. Right? So the first strategy is to create an international global jihad of the Shia against the American empire. And it's already happening. It will continue for a long time because the Americans have killed the Khamenei, okay? And that requires vengeance. The other thing, though, is that it can unify the Muslim world, okay? If you look at this map, most of the Muslim world is actually run by dictatorships that are not popular at all, okay? And they're allowed to exist because of the American empire, right? You go to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria, these places, they're all run by clients of the American empire, right? So if you rally the people who hate their governments and you overthrow them, then that makes Iran the leader of the Islamic world. Not just Shia world, but the Islamic world. And this creates something called Pax Islamica. That is the end goal, guys. Okay? If you do that, then you don't have to worry about the Americans and the Israelis anymore. Right? So the Israeli game plan, the American game plan, is to fracture Iran into ethnic enclaves, and they'll fight over water for the rest of their lives, and they'll all die. The Iranian game plan is to create a religious war, a crusade, that unifies the Shia people, that overthrows the American empire and establishes something called the Pax Islamica. All right? All right. So, again, the key is the GCC. All right? So the game plan is this. You have to destroy the GCC. Why? Because the GCC is the linchpin of the American empire. So what the GCC does is this. It sells oil, and then for US dollars. Where does it put US dollars? It puts US dollars into the American stock market. All right, so this is investments of the UAE, okay, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait into the US financial markets. As you can see, from 2012 up to today, it's been exploding. All right? Because the US financial markets is one of the safest places where you can put your money. The intention is this. The intention is, hey, if I cut off oil and these countries no longer have access to US dollars, they're forced to spend whatever resources they have on protecting themselves, okay? And then guess what happens? The stock market collapses. The stock market collapses. The stock market is the real growth engine of the US economy. The entire US economy collapses with it. All right? There are about maybe 7 companies in America that account for about a quarter of stock market growth, okay? These 7 companies, of course, are AI companies. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Apple, okay? These are the companies, and then these companies are heavily invested in by the GCC nations. So if these nations are no longer able to invest in the stock market, these companies will collapse in value. And with that, that would lead to economic depression in America. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so that is the situation for today. Today was just an overview, guys, okay? I know we covered a lot. I know there's a lot to take in, but over the next few weeks, we will explore each issue in depth and really understand what's really going on, okay? All right, so any questions, guys? Any questions about what we've just learned? Okay.
If other countries such as Italy, France, China, or Russia, they have also joined this war, like, what's the cause of they joined the war? Because of oil or those resources?
Okay. That's a great question, okay? So I don't want to spend too much time on this question because we will explore this question as we move along, okay? So the question is, what brings the world into this conflict? And the easy answer is just oil access, energy access, okay? They need to protect their energy supplies. Because remember, it's a very complicated situation because Europe is now fighting Russia. So Europe is not buying any oil resources, energy resources from Russia. Therefore, it depends a lot on the GCC. So the GCC is not providing them energy, then Europe will go bankrupt. Okay, so Europe needs to enter this war on behalf of the Americans. Okay, and then you have Russia, which cannot allow Iran to fall because if Iran falls, then they'll come after Russia next. Right? China is actually neutral. China's okay with either scenario. But that's just the way that the Chinese system is set up. Okay? So we're going to explore this question as we move along. But it's a very complicated issue. All right? Okay? And each nation will have its own different strategic interests to consider. Right? And what we need to know, what we need to figure out is that this war in the Middle East is actually connected to the Ukraine war. And as we move along, I'll show you how these two things connect together. Okay? Any other questions, guys? Okay, great. So we'll continue this discussion on Thursday, okay?
All right, guys. I just kind of want to get on live to show you that today. I do have a couple videos I will be dropping, so I gotta get my daughter ready to go to the doctor here in a little bit. I'm gonna get off, and I hope everybody has a good day. I will be. Ahmed, thank you for the subscription. God bless you. Welcome to See Me Now family. I will be on again at some point. Obviously tomorrow will be a regular day, but I have some videos that I am editing. So before I have to bring my daughter to the doctor, I am going to work on some of those and get them out so we can have some other content. But yeah, I think that what he's saying is, I mean, people can say that he doesn't know what he's talking about or it's not fact, but in reality, he's pretty right on the money about a lot of it.
The Israeli military says it's planning for at least 1 to 2 more weeks of strikes on Iran. And while retaliation from Tehran is...
Especially with the whole situation when it comes to water and when it comes to Russia needing Iran to stay and not fall because they'll go for Russia next. I don't know why they would do that because it's like if Iran did fall, like why would we continue to want to go to war, especially each superpower going to war with each other? But it is what it is. But I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for stopping in, Stacy. If I can go live in a little bit, I will. But right now, I just want to get these videos out because, as you guys know, I'm working on everything else on all other sides of everything. So, yeah. Much love to everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to support the channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button with notification bell and like the videos. Make sure you look out for any new content coming out as well. Also, um, if you guys want to support me, go to my Ko-Fi that's linked in my bio, and you can donate through there and get your name written down on the donor wall. Greatly appreciate it. All your donations go a long way, and they really do help me continue to be um, independent and stuff like that. So God bless you guys. I appreciate all you guys for being here. I'm sorry it was a short stream today, but I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. So watch out for the videos coming out at some point today or tomorrow. I'm just trying to make sure I make the best content I can for you guys. So yeah, I'll be back on at some point. So make sure you guys pay attention to everything. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Alan, for the subscription. God bless you guys. Welcome to the See Me Now family. But yeah, God bless you guys. Later, win. Much love to you. Stay